Hi everyone, it's Vivi, and today we're launching a brand new format for the show. I'm giving you the anime brief, a deep dive into Tamon-kun's B-side that I caught up on last week, and my favorite part, I'm bringing Tamon-kun to life in Infinity Nikki. So stick around to see if I nailed the Hottiehara look. Ufotable, the animation studio behind the Fate series and Demon Slayer anime, has teased their upcoming 2026 projects, which include a rebroadcast of the Demon Slayer anime, which will start on April 5th, an Ufotable Cafe to Go event that will be held in 47 prefectures in Japan, and the 30th anniversary of the Tales franchise. As well, the Real teased future projects, including their collaboration with Genshin Impact and the second film in the Demon Slayer's Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle trilogy. Kusunoki's Garden of Gods anime is premiering April 4th with a special livestream event happening on March 14th. Adapted from a light novel, the anime will follow Minato Kusunoki, a seemingly average guy who somehow has a power to draw in unique and peculiar gods to his home. This seems like the perfect cozy anime, and the designs for the gods are adorable, so I'm looking forward to watching this. And also, in fold, if you're watching this, how about bringing some of these creatures to life in Infinity Nikki? The last big news is that the Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring, will debut on March 28th. The show will be directed by Ken Yamamoto of Ume Musume Pretty Derby fame, and will be animated by Wit Studio. The story is about human agents who manage the different seasons of the world called Yamato. The story centers around the Agent of Spring, Hinagiku, who returns after a 10-year absence to restore the cycle. This seems like a really interesting premise, and as someone who hasn't read the light novel before, I'm interested to see why Spring disappeared for 10 years and what the rest of the agents have been doing in the meantime. Now let's get into what I've been watching, which is Tamon-kun's B-side. Before I get into my review, here's a quick summary. Tamon-kun's B-side follows Utage, who is a huge fan of Tamon from the idol group Face. She has a job as a housekeeper to earn money to buy Tamon merch. One day, she's temporarily reassigned to clean the house of another housekeeper's client, and it turns out to be Tamon-kun. However, it turns out his personality is not the sexy wild one shown on TV, but instead he's incredibly gloomy and insecure. She's determined to help him shine even brighter as a star and gives him the encouragement and sometimes tough love he needs to succeed. I really love the character of Utage and Tamon. Obviously, Tamon has a hidden side, but so does Utage. On the surface, she's very friendly and gentle, but if someone talks badly about Tamon, even himself, she transforms into a crazy fan in delinquent gear who will shut down any negative talk. I also appreciate that this seems like it's going to be a very slow burn romance. While Utage loves Tamon, she views it through the lens of a fan first. She actively tries to distance her personal feelings to protect his reputation, and let's be real, there's that relatable insecurity of thinking a super idol could never like a normal girl. Tamon himself is likable and relatable to some degree. His struggles with insecurity and his over-anxious persona is a nice contrast to his confident fake persona. Yet, despite his faults, he always does his best to make sure his fans are happy. There's a lot of great comedy here, and I think the writers and animators did a great job in emphasizing these moments. There's also a lot of great visual gags here, like the mushrooms popping up whenever Tamon becomes gloomy, or Utage exploding whenever Tamon switches to his sexy character. The Japanese voice actors also do a great job switching up their voices for when the characters switch personalities, making it work that much better. Alright, so there's going to be spoilers ahead, so seriously, spoiler, 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 skip forward if you don't want any spoilers. So by the current episode, it's obvious that all the members of Phase have a B-side personality. The princely member, Ori, is in fact more of a tsundere character, and many people call him a gorilla because he's loud and also very violent. The soft-spoken leader, Keito, turns out to be calculating and manipulative and also hates his fans. And it's not for no reason, because it seems like he's been the target of serious stalking and harassment. We still have yet to see the other two, but I assume the cutesy character is probably a boorish guy, and the stoic guy is most likely super chatty in real life. By episode 7, the anime has taken a somewhat darker turn after Tamon loses his role as a center of Face. Unfortunately, due to him overworking himself, he failed the final contest where he had to sing. This failure, combined with his own insecurity and his fear of losing Utage, leads to him trying to jump off a building. Luckily, Utage finds him in time and stops him. However, from there, Tamon's darker emotions come through, and it's not just from his loss, but his growing feelings for Utage, which he hasn't quite figured out yet. Even if they weren't romantic feelings, she's literally his only emotional support, so he has become even more dependent on her. The thought of her potentially leaving his side makes him feel even more desperate and obsessive, to the point where he gets a new side, which Utage calls Dark-hara, where he wishes for her to only care about him and no one else, and never leave. It's giving very yandere vibes. For her part, Utage knows that she needs to maintain a distance from Tamon, but he makes it increasingly difficult as he understands her weakness and takes advantage of it. She understands that she also needs to throw him off the proverbial cliff in order for him to become emotionally stronger and less dependent on her. Still, it's hard for her to stay away despite Tamon's occasional dark outbursts because she knows how hard he tries, and she herself is starting to have feelings for him despite trying to bury them as best as she can. I also wanted to mention that the show itself seems like a depiction of the Japanese idea of three faces, where you're not the same person all the time, and you show different parts of yourself to different people. The first face is the one you show to the world, the public image you portray, whether true or false. The second face is one you show to family and close friends. It's a truer version of yourself and who you are kind of at your core. And the third face is the one you don't show others. It's your true essence and who you are without judgment. According to this Japanese philosophy, a lot of people might not even know what the third face looks like. With that said, it's interesting to see it played out in Tamon specifically, as we actually see his three faces now. There's a first face, the Hottiehara, the second face, Gloomyhara, and now the third face, Dark-hara. Even the name of the band Face seems to be a reference to this philosophy. Or maybe I'm just looking into it too much. What do you think? And finally, onto the fun part, I've recreated Tamon in Infinity Nikki. Now, instead of listing everything, I'm just going to show you. Keep an eye on the side of the screen for the items and the specific dye palette I used to get the perfect Tamon pink. And if you want to look for yourself, my share code is in the description below. So, what do you think of my styling? Is it close? I did take some liberties in terms of the shirt and pant color, but I think that I captured the essence of Hottiehara. Now, what are your thoughts on the video format, news, or my review of Tamon-kun's B-side? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this kind of content, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And tune in next week for more anime news and my thoughts on You and I Are Polar Opposites. So don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss the reveal of Suzuki. And I will see you all next week. Bye!